I have been pondering a perplexing problem with this pan, and after doing some thinking about this, even though I really like this little pan for what I have been using it for, I think I need to upgrade. So I've stopped using this pan and I have switched to this pan. And this is a big upgrade. And let me tell you why this pan is good for certain things, but I'm ultimately going to need to get rid of it, and why this pan is so much better for me. So this is a really good quality pan. It's all stainless steel, makes it easy to clean up, although you might be able to tell I have not done a great job of keeping the outside clean, but we'll just kind of gloss over that. Anyway, having an all stainless steel pan is generally easier to clean, and I don't want a Teflon coating. That's something that I am completely against having, so none of my cookware is Teflon coated. So it's been a really good pan, although it is a little bit on the small side, and that is not good in two different aspects. One is I normally like to cook more food than I need so that I have leftovers that I can just reheat quickly later in the day or the next day. Kind of saves on fuel since I do cook on propane. And also, if I'm out and about and I get back to the van and just want something quick to eat, I like to be able to just pull something out of the fridge and reheat it quickly. So this pan is not ideal for cooking more than one portion of food, obviously. It's very small. The other little issue here is that my cooktop is rather oversized, and this pan is so small that, for one, it doesn't sit on the cooktop very easily. If there's food in it, it sits a little bit better, and I don't have to fiddle with it. Like, see, it's not holding itself up there. Okay, so we've got it there. But the cooktop is oversized, and so that means that the outer ring on the burner is actually bigger than the pan itself, at least the bottom of the pan itself. And I found that, one, if I do try to cook something in this pan, it makes it very difficult because the heat is running up outside of the pan, and because it's such a thin wall pan, things tend to burn really easily. But the bigger issue I've noticed is it just wastes a lot of propane. And I don't like that fact that I'm just wasting a ton of propane, because a lot of the heat from the cooktop is going around the pan and not actually cooking my food. So with that in mind, I've decided that while this has been a decent little pan for, say, cooking oatmeal in the morning or just reheating leftovers, it's not a great pan for just cooking in general. So I've upgraded, and I have done a very big upgrade in very many ways in going with this pan. Now, this is a enamel on cast iron pan, and that means it is very heavy. So obviously it's much bigger than my old little stainless steel pan, but that's a good thing because I want to be able to cook more food so that I have leftovers, so it solves that problem. It's a little bit bigger, so that means I'm not wasting fuel because it actually fits the size of my cooktop. Not only bigger, but it comes with a lid, so I can cook things like soups or stews or rice and get a lid on it, so again, saving fuel. So all around better that way. The drawbacks of this pan, there are very few, but the drawbacks of this pan are, because it is a cast iron pan, it's extremely heavy. And if you know anything about enamel pans like these, you know that they're not the most durable pan. If you do drop them, the enamel can crack or break. So I do need to kind of just keep that in mind. I don't think that that's going to be a big problem, and I think it's one of the smaller things that I need to kind of mind when using this pan. But I do really like having a bigger pan. I like having a lid that I can put on it. It just gives me more possibilities. And in using this pan, so I've used it a few times now, I have found that it's much nicer to eat out of this pan, and that's really what I bought this old stainless steel pan for. I wanted to be able to either cook or reheat something and then be able to just eat right out of the pan itself. Why dirty up another dish, right? If it doesn't make any sense. So this pan, because of the shape of it, it's a little bit bigger on the top than it is on the bottom. It makes it really easy to eat out of. I also like that it has a handle on it, which means that it keeps the handle away from the flame, so I can more easily pick this up. But the handle does heat up over time, so I do keep a mitt around. Now I have one of these silicone pot handlers. This thing's great not only for picking up the pot when it's hot, because it's silicone, you get a nice grip on it, but I also use it to set the pan down on my countertop here so that the pan doesn't slide around when I'm eating. So that kind of solves the issues that I face with handling the pot once it's hot, and because I'm usually just eating directly out of it. The big issue I found with this, though, because it's got a nice slick surface on it, I do need to be a little bit careful when I'm cooking. Now, I'm living out of a van, and I'm normally parking on a street. Most streets have a crown to them, which means that the van is usually tipped over, and it's usually tipped over this way because I have my bed and couch area here on the passenger side of the van. You may not be able to tell that from watching, but that means that if I'm parked for the evening and I'm cooking dinner, the van is normally tipped in this direction, which means this pot has a tendency to slide off and at me. So there's been a couple of times where I have caught it as it's starting to slide off and dump its contents on me. So that's something I just need to keep in mind. There's not a whole lot I can do about it just because it's got this nice slick surface, which I like, because it makes it easy to clean. But I just need to watch it. Now, I did make some modifications to my cooktop here. I put some different feet on the cooktop, which allow me to give it a little bit of an angle on this side so that it kind of compensates for that fact that I'm always parked not level. So this is not a perfect pan by any means, but it is a big upgrade for me. I like the fact that it allows me to cook more food. I can cook more things in it, not just, say, reheating something or cooking oatmeal like I did with the old stainless steel pan. But I do like the fact that I've got all the space, and in using it, I found that because it's cast iron, I can run my heat on a lower heat setting, which again saves me propane. And then once I'm done cooking and I'm eating out of this pan, my food stays hotter, which is nice in the wintertime, especially if I've just got back to my van after being gone for a while and it's cold in here. My food stays nice and warm while I'm waiting for my heater to heat up the rest of my space here. So all in all, a really good pan. I highly suggest these. I've been wanting one of these enamel on cast iron pans for quite a while, but I've stayed away from them just because, one, I was a little bit afraid of just the issue of maybe dropping it, maybe it rattling loose where I store it and falling on the floor and cracking. I've kind of gotten over that. I think the benefits outweigh the little reaction I have about maybe it getting broken. But the big reason I have not bought one of these before is that they can be pretty pricey. But I found one of these on sale, and it was on a pretty good sale. So it was $20 at a Fred Meyer store. So I snatched it up. I figured now was the time to make the change, and I'm happy that I have. So even if you don't live in a van and you just enjoy cooking like I do, I think you'd really like one of these enamel on cast iron pans. They're really useful, they work really well, and if you're lazy like me and don't like doing dishes, they're great to eat out of, and they clean up really easily once you're done. So lots of upside to them. Don't know if you found this helpful or useful or interesting, but I'm really glad that I have this pen. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.